And we are committed, Your Excellency, to create commercially viable innovation to address Africa's grand challenges in such a way that we can impact people's lives. And we want to build these solutions here in Africa, for Africa, and then bring it to the rest of the world. Because there is no reason for us, why Africa should not be the first. It is not Africa also, we are about Africa first. Thank you very much.
And now the Vice President Global Labs, IBM Research, Dr. Robert Morris.
Thank you. So, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, we're very, very delighted and happy to be here today. And it's an emotional time for me. And it's an emotional time for me because one of my hobbies is anthropology. And I know that Kenya was not just first with the lab today, but Kenya has a long history of firsts. Our first humans walked very, very close to here. All of our ancestors, we're all brothers and sisters, and we're all back here together today. As you heard, this is the first technology lab of this kind, research lab, anywhere in Africa. We chose to come here. We received tremendous support from many in this room in doing that, and we plan to continue a history of firsts. IBM has had its share of firsts. We've been first in many areas, in creation of many breakthroughs in the formation of our industry. And today, we have heard in the demos about, for example, frugal innovation, which is the use of not just a cheaper, but a more innovative technology to solve problems that are near and dear to us here in Africa. But our work here will not be limited to frugal innovation. I am convinced, after spending the week here with our new researchers and reviewing all of the projects and seeing what we're doing, these projects will not just be frugal innovation, they will be first, they will be the best in the world, they will be exported from here to the world, and we will be a leader. And Kenya will continue, as will Africa and with IBM together, to be first.
The Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and Technology, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, will now speak and then invite His Excellency the President.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, honorable cabinet colleagues present here, the leaders of IBM, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, I had a very long speech that I spent most of yesterday rehearsing, which I'm not going to deliver today because we are all constrained by time. But let me say a few things. One, Your Excellency, thank you so much for finding time to come here. Your presence to open the IBM Research Africa underlines your personal commitment to the development and deployment of ICTs in the way we manage our society. You've made commitments before through the Jubilee Manifesto. You've made commitments publicly, and I know you have instructed us at the ministry to ensure that we do several things to encourage investment in the growth of deployment of ICTs. The use of ICTs as a critical enabler is a core pillar and aspect of Vision 2030. I'm grateful for the work that has gone here, and on behalf of my colleagues at the Ministry, Your Excellency, I think it is fair and honest on my part to thank our predecessors at the Ministry of Information, especially Minister Samuel Bogisho and PS Dr. Ndemo, who started this work. These two gentlemen, we succeeded at the ministry, worked on this vision at the beginning, and they put all the teams together that have brought this to what we have today. Just one last point, Your Excellency. I hope that as we keep going and through your own commitment and the way you are leading us to ensure that we deploy ICTs in government effectively, all Kenyans and everyone in government will understand that technology presents us limitless possibilities. Just recently, we were discussing, in Kenya there are 42 million cell phones. 25 million of those are smartphones. And when we were looking at data generated by the Communication Commission of Kenya, that indicates that there are about 10 million Kenyans now who are effectively using the internet and getting data moving around on the internet. And we even analyzed this further and discovered that 75% of those 10 million use the internet for information, which means that even for us in government and all partners, not just in the government sector, but in all sectors of the economy, can benefit a lot if we effectively deployed ICTs in our lives. Your Excellency, you have instructed us just yesterday to ensure that we all arms of government automate services so that Kenyans in the future can get services very easily. We're going to work with our colleagues in government to ensure that this happens. You have also instructed us, and I think this is probably one of the best news to the ICT community, to look for ways of starting to build the LTE network in Kenya so that we can move our communication to the 4G platform and Kenyans can enjoy faster internet speeds across the country. We are going to work very hard to implement the national broadband strategy. We are going to work very hard to ensure that the ICT master plan that we've developed is effectively implemented. And Your Excellency, we are going to work very hard to ensure that government services move completely to the digital platform as you have asked us to do. And with those few remarks, it is now my pleasant duty and distinct honor, Your Excellency, to invite our President and the leader of our nation to address us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Fred. Ladies and gentlemen, morning. Let me say that I'm very pleased to be with you this morning, indeed on this very important occasion. And I consider it important because it really dovetails very well into what my government's agenda of transforming Kenya in line with our Vision 2030 blueprint to enable us as a country to join the League of Middle-Income Countries. Let me take this very early opportunity to most sincerely thank IBM for choosing Kenya as your location for the 12th lab globally. This is a great honor, privilege, and I believe as a country we will benefit greatly from this decision. We do not take this gesture for granted, because your decision to locate this investment in Kenya is indeed also a vote of confidence in our country as an investment destination of choice. I also wish to thank the Catholic University of Eastern Africa for providing the land and the building where this laboratory is hosted. Your commitment to building strategic partnerships for excellence in research, science and technology is indeed most welcome. Over the last 10 years, we as a country have made commendable progress towards conquering disease, illiteracy and hunger, which have been the main goal of our development agenda. We have done well in most health indicators on account of the investment we have undertaken in promoting healthcare, and this has also been the case with respect to education, with the number of school-going children joining primary schools increased dramatically following the adoption of free primary education policy in 2003. However, despite this progress, challenges still remain that require serious and bold action by the government, working of course with the private sector, which we consider the engine of growth of our economy. Poverty remains a major problem, with more than 40% of our people still living under $1 a day. The problem of unemployment, particularly amongst our youth, is still a major problem. We therefore need to grow our economy by no less than 10% on an average annually for a number of years if we are going to defeat those challenges of poverty on a lasting basis. This is why my administration has committed itself to promote more investment in industrialization as a key driver of growth, job creation, and poverty reduction. But we also conversant that to achieve our set development agenda, we have no choice but to harness the information communication technology, as well as to strengthen research and innovation. Indeed, in our medium-term strategy, we have listed the creation of ICT hubs and the support of startups in the ICT sector all over the country as a priority in facilitating Kenya's digital takeoff and sustained socio-economic development. We also intend to invest in and facilitate the digital economy by empowering youth to develop market-ready software to be consumed by national and county governments, as well as business enterprises. My government fully intends to redeem every pledge made to the people of Kenya, and to do so, we will collaborate with stakeholders in all their diversity without taking our eyes off the prize. We anticipate partnerships of every shape and form to accelerate our quest. Some will be bilateral, others multilateral, a few temporary, single-issue cooperation, while others will be multidimensional and intense collaborations, as I hope we will establish with yourselves at IBM. What we have here at the IBM Research Lab is an example of the best of this kind of partnership. It involves academia, industry, and government. It brings together PhDs and interns in a space replete with audacious imagination, bold innovation, and energetic enterprise. I am very encouraged by this partnership between the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, through the ICT Board, the Catholic University of Eastern Africa, and IBM. Indeed, it fits very well with my own government's vision of a partnership for national transformation. That is why it is such a pleasure to be here and witness this initiative firsthand. I am certain that by now you have interacted with what I can only call a groundswell of ICT talent that our young people possess. Let us collaborate in developing that talent and harness it into generating the sort of win-win dynamic that will transform lives, not just here in Kenya, but on the African continent. Because of the symmetrical nature of public-private partnerships, it is envisioned that activities will yield solutions and systems that will address very specific local problems through commercially viable innovations. The government will provide the required understanding of local and regional, social, political, and economic challenges, while IBM has the resource of more than a century's industrial and innovative experience. The university will give us the intellectual and academic framework to exploit the knowledge emanating from the partnership. Through applied and exploratory research, people will be empowered to overcome challenges and improve their lives, while entrepreneurs involved will generate incomes as well as employment. No one can lose in this partnership, and indeed no one should be left behind. I note the partnership intends to focus its agenda on smarter cities, medical healthcare, education, water, agriculture, and transport. These are also areas where government intends to concentrate its resources and transformative strategies. Moreover, I note with appreciation the efforts so far invested into developing various appropriate solutions. A traffic estimation and control system, which will form a key component of city planning, is being worked on. For motorists, this effort will culminate in a mobile phone application, allowing us to look up road conditions and traffic in real time and suggest alternative routes. I am also happy to note that the laboratory has analyzed historical water demand and supply data and developed a forecasting model for future water use and infrastructure requirements. This will help the city-county plan and improve water supply throughout Nairobi. This lab has also gone further and developed a solution intended to enhance diagnostic treatment and referral of cancer cases. This will enhance the models already in use by the Ministry of Health. There is no one who can doubt that the innovations that I've stated go to the heart of the problems faced by all Kenyans on a daily basis. This is how science, research and technology and innovation should do, meet the people at the point of greatest need. I remind everybody that this lab was actually inaugurated in July 2012. At their present work rate, I expect that the research team will really help us eliminate quite a number of very notorious headaches that we have had as a country. The vision and achievement of this lab provides the confidence that it will achieve each of its aims within 5 years. These aims include the generation of intellectual property, raising of the national profile of science and technology, provide high-end jobs for research, scientists, and internships for graduates and students. It also aims to sustain a meaningful engagement and knowledge sharing with the research and academic communities. Ultimately, all this will bolster Kenya's image as a leading ICT hub on the continent. As you can see, there is excellent reason for identifying this lab as a flagship project of our Vision 2030. We are no longer waiting helplessly, hoping that a donor will have pity on us to solve our problems. We are not sitting around waiting for other people to devise solutions or hoping that the brain drain will result in some form of knowledge remittance. But we are not wasting our young people's greatest generational opportunity by ignoring their role in national transformation through entrepreneurship and ICT. Instead, we are generating solutions for our problems locally, attracting talent, and incubating innovations. We are also claiming leadership while transforming Kenya and indeed the African continent. I encourage more investors to take advantage of our optimal environment. Kenya's legal institutional frameworks have been calibrated to facilitate our ready pool of talent. We are indeed ripe for innovation. Please join in this great collaboration, because I would like to see industry partnering with the many ICT innovation hubs to modernize production and make our economy competitive. I also take this opportunity to encourage the youth to pursue every opportunity in the ICT sector and to make their contribution in developing Kenya. In conclusion, let me once again thank the IBM Corporation for choosing Kenya as a location for its 12th laboratory globally, and I assure you that my government's support in this endeavor and in other similar partnerships. Let me also reiterate my government's full commitment to providing a conducive environment for research and innovation in science and technology, and support for innovation within the ICT sector. We want as many stakeholders as possible abroad or to join us in this historic voyage to national social economic transformation. And towards that end, let me also take this opportunity to announce that as of next year, and this is a directive we have issued this morning, as of next year, 1st April, we expect, again in line with our process of digitizing government, that there will be no more payments in cash, and all payments for government services will be made through a digital platform as of 1st of April. So please, therefore, that means that all agencies involved need to ensure. That's 3 months, that's plenty of time, and still gives you time to enjoy Christmas, to be on the ball and ready. May God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday. There's quite a lot of interesting things I think we can discuss already and start off with. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, Your Excellency, you will have a photograph here, just in front of the IBM signage. You and Dr. Kamau. You and Dr. Kamau, just the two of you first. Just the rest of you, please. Photograph. Secretary, Mr. Nicholas start, Your Excellency. I shall kindly request that you come up to the front here. What you're going to be doing, let's come over here. We're going to be joined now by Dr. Lehman, the CEO of ICT. All right, now the last photograph, Your Excellency, is if I could ask you to be over here with the members of staff. Members of staff. Members of staff, there are quite many members of staff now. IBM staff out here. Otherwise we cannot fit you out there, please. Just out here, leaving room for His Excellency. Thank you.
I have to put up this Next picture station. Next picture station. Hey, hey.
semua lah.
Who really need to be over time educated and exposed to what leadership is all about.
Homegrown technology solutions, I think they're the best types of solutions.
Greatest resources on the continent is the brain trust of our young people. This continent boasts of huge numbers of educated, innovative, energetic people who possess the key to the future of our society in all spheres of development.
If we develop for a standpoint, Africa remains stable, and if the economy continues to grow, then the confluence of economic growth as well as science taking advantage of this deep penetration of mobile phones in exponential ways will take Africa over the edge into the next millennium.
Ideas and the creativity to change the world, definitely. And most of all, we have the passion and the drive to see it and see our ideas come all the way through.
These homegrown solutions are not just born out of a need, but they're born out of a desire to kind of...
This is what I want to do, this is how I want it done, and this is how it is going to be done.
The trick now is for Africans to say, okay, we've got these resources, what should we be doing with them? And let's start exporting the finished products instead of our natural resources.
If you just look at what, and the fact that natural resources seem to have come to the fore makes Africa actually very, very interesting for people to invest in.
If we get the entrepreneurial spirit, we get business driving development rather than depending on Africa.
And because we're the richest continent, resource-wise, I see us just like going on this trajectory that doesn't have an end.
I want to be part of Africa's growth story and able to tell it, but also to live it and to be part of it.
Dr. Bhattacharya, what would you say are Africa's biggest challenges, and how will IBM's new research lab help?
I think the biggest opportunity in Africa is economies in the world. We will have to build systems that can not only visualize and analyze data. Anyone can do that. But what we're going to do is we're going to build systems that can actually think.
So, thank you. Wonderful video. We in the research lab